Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome on in to episode 2 of the Eldritch Tide. Thank you all so much for tuning in this evening. We have a fantastic evening of Dungeons and Dragons ready for you as we continue this wonderful campaign of horror and mystery. I want to give a huge shout out to everybody that I see in chat that is returning from our first episode last week, and a huge shout out and thank you to every single person who's stopping in for the first time tonight to join us for tonight's game. We are so incredibly excited to be able to bring this game to you. And you folks are able to actually be able to interact with the game itself. Wonderful nightmare command. We have a wonderful little tip gauge at the bottom of the screen here that you see. And folks are able to actually tip directly to that. And that actually goes directly to our players here. As you can see, we already have a wonderful and kind $20 in that nightmare gauge there. Every time each week, whenever we fill that nightmare gauge, we get to introduce a moment of terror and horror and mystery. Oh, no, I know, Harry. I'm going to get it all taken care of. It got switched over in the interim, but thank you. I got you. Uh, we are going to have a moment of terror and horror that plagues our heroes at a opportune time whenever we fill that nightmare gauge. And that directly goes specifically to actually help support all of our wonderful players here for their time and their effort. So you get to support the players and you get to scare the pants off of them. It's wonderful. We are going to go ahead and head into introductions. We went forwards to backwards last time, so let's go backwards to forwards this time. I will start with the person directly to my right, the wonderful Zeffy. Zeffy, you will be playing Velray. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your character.
Hello, it me, Zeffy, and yeah, I'm a bi-black Boricua, and I use she/they pronouns. And yeah, guess what? My last day in my 20s, I'm gonna spend playing D&D, so I'm really hype about that. Anywho, my character Velray, elf sorcerer. That's a bit sporty and is trying to do the right thing. Middling success, but yeah, that's
So,
it.
so exciting. I love that we get to help ring in your incoming birthday with a wonderful game of D&D. That's so exciting.
Yes.
Next in line, we have playing the absolutely fabulous Rakra, the wonderful Wreck-It Raven.
Hi, I am Raven, also known, I was about to say formerly known, also known as Wreck-It Raven. Um, my pronouns are they, she, they. Please use them interchangeably. I am playing Rakra, a 6'5" body yachty yachty half orc monk. Shouldn't work, but it does. She is not so street smart, very book smart. And she's really socially awkward, also obsessed with gourds. So yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Next in line, we have the absolutely fantastic Fenris playing Ludwig de Alba. Tell us a little bit about yourself and Ludwig.
Hi, I'm Fenris. I'm a variety streamer. I'm currently obsessed with Elden Ring. So you can find me playing that most of the time, Friday through Monday, 3 p.m. Eastern. But I'm playing Ludwig, and he is mixed like a firefighter, first responder with golden retriever energy, and um, he has maybe some little secrets up his sleeve too.
We love a good boy with a heart of gold and a dark secret hidden underneath. So can't wait to jump into more of Ludwig. Uh, our uh, our next player, the resident drama instigator of the group, currently it seems. We have the absolutely fabulous Kilcannon playing the nefarious Kilcannon.
What? A drama starter? I have no idea what you're talking about, good sir. Everyone, my name is Kilcannon. I on my channel tend to stream a lot of Debbie Delight, aka Dead by Daylight. Usually play a lot of Killer, but also do some fun Survivor as well. On today's stream, I am playing Kilcannon, the cursed item artificer. Pretty evil. So see this character as someone who's going to be having a giant chip on his shoulder about most things and just a general foul attitude about most of what he's encountering and everyone he's talking to. So just be ready for it.
Like the literal opposite of you as a person.
Yes, we got to embrace our opposite side just to channel it every once in a while. So
I love it. I love it. We have good kill and bad kill. It's exciting. And rounding out our fabulous group, the absolutely fantastic Sinziak playing the ever chipper and ever delightful and ever polite Caden Wintergate.
Hi, everybody. So, my name is Sinziak of the He Vampire. On Twitch, playing your favorite story games and RPGs and all of those things. And today, I am going to be Caden, who really just wants to file his reports, hopefully get everybody out of trouble or keep everybody out of trouble, and go home and have dinner.
That look, sometimes you just want to clock out and be done with the day
You do.
and call it good. Um And every single person coming on in tonight, I do want to thank you all so much for all of your support. I am Wesselhausen. If this is your very first time here on my channel, I am a queer and non-binary content creator here on Twitch. My pronouns are he, they interchangeably, and we tell all sorts of inclusive storytelling and role-playing games here on the channel. It is my personal belief that absolutely everybody has a RPG out there that fits them, and we just gotta find it for you. I have a personal favorite touch of implementing horror elements into games, which is what brought this wonderful campaign along. I took a look at all of the Eldritch horror and like pulp mystery stories that have been through the years that I absolutely adore, but don't often include fabulous, inclusive casts of characters. And I said, fuck that. And so here we go. So we have a Eldritch horror story with a absolutely fantastic cast and such an incredible, wonderful, supportive group. Thank you so much for the next $10 to our nightmare gauge. Y'all are starting this off right. If you would like to help tip out the wonderful players and cause a little bit of mischief for them, you can help tip directly to the Pally GG in the link there. And every bit of that goes directly to the fantastic players. Another little note, we do have notifications turned off this evening. So if you follow, if you subscribe, if you give bits, anything like that, thank you so much, and I'll help try to acknowledge that during the breaks and things like that. But we will have those notifications turned off throughout this evening's game. A couple other things really fast. Since this is a horror game, we do have some content warnings for this evening's game. Those are going to include body horror, emetophobia, which is going to have veiled mentions and have the action happen off screen without actual description and representation thereof. But it will be mentioned. It does also include hallucinations, blood, insects, and vermin. If at any point, if these horror elements become too much to handle, by all means, please go ahead and tag out for a little bit if you need to take a moment away for yourself. As this is a horror game, we completely understand that sometimes things can be a little bit too intense for somebody, and they might need to take a little bit of a break. Absolutely understand, and we thank you all so much for your support. The other element that I do want to go ahead and let folks know about is this is a game of Dungeons and Dragons. However, in the immortal words of the absolutely fabulous Aslan, don't cite the deep magic to me, which I was there when it was written. This is our home game of D&D, so please do not rules lawyer or bicker about calls that we make here in the game itself for our own particular game. Thank you all so much for joining us this evening, and thank you for another $10 towards the Nightmare Gauge. Y'all are on it. Y'all are ready. After last week's experience with the creature formerly known as Bruno, y'all are at the ready, and I am. With that being said, what do you say we go ahead and hop in to tonight's second episode of the Eldritch Tide, titled The Descent? Hayden Wintergate, if you would like to recap your report that you have filed with the Bureau, detailing the events of the last, not 24 hours per se, but the day's activities.
The day's activities. Very well then. So, imagine, if you will, me typing in front of a computer at a desk or using a typewriter or whatnot as it is appropriate. Following the information from the Opera House investigation, we went to the Elemental District. We're meeting with Rupel, Brakra, Kilcannon, Velray, and Ludwig were present. We were greeted by a couple of guards. We found Rupel on site. He was compliant with our questions. We confirmed that he sent enforcers, to find people who had been stealing some of his wares. He denied any involvement in the arson or any knowledge of any runic magic present at the opera house. The attendant, or one of them, Bruno, arrived with a package containing similar runes and magic type, who transformed into a monstrous creature upon opening. Disposal and or replacement may be required. Rupal left for basket. Aftercare may be required in case of effects from witnessing transformation of attendant. End report.
As you finish up this report, typing it all out at the typewriter sitting at your desk. I love a typewriter. I love the clicky clack, so we're absolutely gonna have it be a little bit of a typewriter. As you are finishing up this report and filing in after taking your leave of the group at Rupal's airship dock,
Mm.
you hear a little bit of a clearing of the throat. And as you look up, you expect to see Viralai, the personal attendant. However, you do not. You look up and you see a tall man in similar style of dress to yourself. A long, like a long white, almost loose fitting tunic with the sleeves rolled up to about mid elbow. You actually see that they have on a pair of like forensics gloves as
Mhm.
well. And they have like a little bit of like a messy black mop of hair, and they're peering down at like half moon spectacles that are hanging off of the edge of their nose. Um, and they look down. They're like, "Caden, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but I wanted to check in with you about the previous report that you had filled out about incident at the opera house."
Sure. How can I be of help?
Yes, they there seem to be some information that we needed a little bit of more clarification on. I've checked in and I've set a thing with you tomorrow afternoon. I checked in with Viralai and made sure that she cleared your schedule. But we had some questions, especially regarding the remains that we found on site. We wanted to get a little bit more clarification from you, and we wanted to hear a little bit more specifically about your thoughts and about like what you found for each of the folks. And you can see as they're talking, they have a similar pendant as what you have on. Not all of the workers in the bureau have uh, pendants per se. And as they are talking to you, the emerald eyes of their pendant almost give like a little bit of a flash, like there is like a light shining across them.
Ah, I see. Well, then I will be sure to be at the meeting and on time.
Of course, absolutely. Uh, and if there's anything that you found in today's investigation that you feel might be relevant to our discussion of what was found at the Opera House, make sure to bring that along as well.
Understood.
They kind of give a nod over and they kind of like look around the room and just kind of like give you like a little bit of like a pat on the shoulder. Um, and they go to walk away. And as they do, you actually hear the little clack 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 of Viralai coming into the office area. And she's like, "Oh, good. Oh, I didn't realize. Oh, I'm so sorry, Caden. They just approached me. They said that they needed to talk to you. Humphreys was trying to set an appointment, and I didn't realize that they were just going to come directly to you. They just talked to me. I'm so sorry I didn't get to you in time.
Oh, no worries. It's fine.
Of course, of course. Um, is there anything that I can do? Is that ready for fight? I think Kalita would love to see that if it's at the ready.
You know something? It absolutely is. Feel free to take this to Kalita. Thank you so very much.
Of course, of course. You see as Virlai takes the report, they're kind of like looking over it for a second. They're like, I'm I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was a little exciting that somebody from forensics was interested in stopping by. I never get to go over there and kind of see what happens. Um,
It can be a mysterious place. Let's hope that tomorrow's meeting is, you know, brief. I'm sure there's nothing to worry about.
Because oh, of course, absolutely. I'll make sure that if anybody stops in for anything else, that their schedule is cleared for you, so that you don't have to worry about that.
Okay, sounds wonderful. Also, if you haven't yet, you should probably take that break.
Like, and you're right. You're right, Kaden. Thank you so much. I try to overwork myself sometimes, and I get a little carried away. And I'm rambling to you right now. I'm so sorry. You said take a break. I'm gonna go on a walk. Um you see, she kind of like just like gets like really worried for a second, and kind of like clears up. She's like, I'm gonna okay, Miss Kalita, I'm gonna take a break. Here's the file and the report. And you see, Kalita doesn't even like take a little bit of a second. You just kind of like look over, and in her like side office that she has, she just kind of like flicks a little bit of a hand as she like is typing away at her own typewriter. She flicks a little bit of a hand, and you watch as this like magical hand comes up and slams the door on Viralai. And Viralai is like, oh, okay, she doesn't need the report right now. That's fine. Have a wonderful rest of your day, Caden. Let me know if there's anything else I can do for you for the last couple hours.
Sure thing. You too, Virulai. One day I am going to like have to go to one of these plant stores and get one of those calming aromatic plants for her. She really needs it.
All of a sudden, just like a really like nice, sweet, like fragrant plant ends up like on her desk one day. I love it. And a huge thank you to another $20 to the Nightmare Gauge. Way to go, y'all. Y'all are making it up there. We are just
Um,
over 20% of the way. Y'all really choosing violence today. Y'all really looking at all these players and being like, but how can we scare them? And I'm here for it. I'm about it. So, as Caden continues on with the rest of his day, you have a few hours left in the workday to take care of matters on your own. Or is there any particular investigations or things like that that you are looking into over the last couple hours of the workday after filing your report on the incident at Rupel?
Mostly there was a mention of um a half moon mask on somebody who had appeared nearby. So I would probably do a little bit of research at the computer and see if that has ever been mentioned before.
Perfect. So you check in, and you start going through old files and recent reportings.
Mm-hmm.
Despite turning in like physical copies, you know that Viralai or some of the other assistants in this particular like section of the bureau, they'll after they file in the originals, they will turn around and make copies of them and refile them back with everybody, so that you can have a copy to. And go ahead and give me an investigation check, Caden.
Investigation. Let's see what we get here. That is a 17 on an. Oh, wait. Whoops. That is intimidation. That is a lie.
Oh.
Let's try that again. Yeah, no. That is a 3 on that investigation check.
What did you originally roll? Because I would say that would have like.
It was a 15 on the die. My investigation is +1.
Oh, okay, so 16 total then. But we'll say that rather than that because I know that sometimes it can get a little mix up, especially when using the D&D Beyond there. So with a 16, you uh as you're looking through some of the reports in the area, you notice that there doesn't seem to be any indication of of sightings of multiples of them. However, there did seem to be uh reports of children specifically, like children or like young teens around on the streets in like nearby incidences reporting finding like discarded masks. And you find one particular report of it that matches a half moon mask, like you had been described. Um, Actually, in the district, Rotten, which houses the restaurant and speakeasy of the Descent.
Rotten.
Rotten, WROUGHTN. The borough is named after the wrought iron filigree that decorates homes and businesses and fences around the district. It is the district of art. It is the district of previous noble houses that now don't necessarily have any claim to nobility, as nobility doesn't really matter when you're coming up against eldritch entities. Um,
Mhm.
but it has earned the reputation amongst the citizenry to be nicknamed Rotten because of how absolutely terrible and atrocious a lot of the people within the district seem to be to others outside of it.
Interesting. Hmm. Well, that's going to be fun tomorrow, but I think that will do for today. I think that'll
Perfect,
do.
perfect. So as you finish up your day at the office, we're gonna go ahead and transition back over to our group. I believe that Ludwig, Velray, and Rakra, I know, were intending on heading back to Ludwig's for a bit of an afternoon of baking. I wasn't sure if Kilcannon was going to be partaking in an afternoon of pie eating and baking.
I'm doing some skulking about in the city, trying to get up to something that is a longer term goal of mine that I tend to not let people know too much about.
Perfect. So Kilcannon makes himself a little bit less known for the remainder of the day. And gets up to a few nefarious things. Just a few. One or two. A scooch of nefariousness. Uh, and that brings us to Ludwig Velray and Rakra. Now, the three of you arrive, and you see that Ludwig actually leads you to the section of the capital city of Ichthys that ends up being almost like an outpost or a encampment right around the planar lighthouse within the northernmost tip of the city. Right around it is filled with all manner of individuals hailing from the uh, area of the Shadowfell. They end up being kind of like guardians and the overseer of the planar lighthouses. The large lighthouses that within them house the ability to open planar portals into the astral sea and beyond. And given the severity and the danger of the Eldritch Tide, the Shadowhill themselves take it on to almost be like protectors and observers and sentinels around the lighthouses. So as you arrive on the outskirts, and the guards at the entrance just kind of like wave Ludwig on through, along with the two of you. As you make your way through, Ludwig leads you up to a tall building, probably about 8 to 10 stories. It's one of the taller buildings here in the grounds of the encampment itself. And you realize that this almost acts like a like an apartment building. Um, Ludwig leads you up to about the sixth floor, and you walk into this absolutely beautiful living space. Like this would be like the beautiful like apartment in like the most posh area of town. However, Ludwig is the one that lives here, so there's probably like a couch, a
Yeah.
chair, like one side table that has like a thing that somebody gave him at some point. Um like it's very sparsely decorated, but the actual living space is completely beautiful. Um and you can see that the kitchen is the kitchen and like past in a ways into the bedroom are like the most like actively used spaces. And
Mhm.
it leads you on into the kitchen for a little cooking downtime to unwind from it.
Yeah, if you want to put your jackets in the closet over there, I'm sure you'll find a hanger. Make yourself at home. I'm gonna use the bathroom in just a second, but um, yeah, make yourself a home. I think there's like a milk crate over there. You could use that as a chair if you wanted to, and yeah, we can do some baking if you guys are afraid. Also, I gotta show you um my bear rug, Belray. I have a bear rug. Yeah,
Ooh,
and Rockwell
I
gave it to
love
me. Can
that.
you believe that?
That is sweet. Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
Nice.
Before Ludwig even finishes anything, like he starts talking and Rockra's already starting to like throw things and just like get comfortable. And she finds the milk crate and like kind of like picks it up and then like looks at it and like kind of looks down at herself.
Oh, I
And
can
then
use that. Don't worry. Like
so
that's more
I
suitable for my size.
yes. Okay. So then I quickly like and awkwardly just kind of like get closer and then put it down.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I just go over and I'm gonna sit like underneath the window.
Perfect. And I'll waltz back in after like washing my hands, get myself all set. I take off my shoes, and I like just start going around into the kitchen and like pulling out some stuff in case you guys wanted to bake and stuff. Um, and like got some snacks. I bring out some snacks for you. You can see the view outside is beautiful when you look out the window. Um, you can see the lighthouse itself. Wes, can you describe the lighthouse for me a little bit?
Yeah, of course, of course. So you see this incredibly tall, almost like marble-esque lighthouse rising up from the city. It is a little bit taller than you would expect it to be. And you see this very thin walkway, railed walkway leading up and around. You can see that a lot of the sides of the lighthouse are less than like the shiny, beautiful marble, as the like sea wind and all of the salt coming in off of the coastline has like battered around at it. But along the very, very top, there is this beautiful line of like gold gilded filigree that is
Mhm.
inlaid all through the top spire of the lighthouse itself. Um and perched at the very, very top, kind of like hanging on to it, you this incredibly large bat-like creature. This almost like circular maw, like this void of a maw at the end of it, and these dark, hollow, sunken eyes on either side. And you see large, leathery wings that like peel down into talons at the very, very and you see this very, very majestic Shatterkai kind of mounted on the back of it. You see that they are holding this incredibly large saber at the end, and you can see elements of their armor look akin to what you all have seen Big wear before. And you can tell that these are the armaments of the Shatterkai, specifically Shatterkai that are trained to go out into the astral and go on expedition to protect them and protect others and back. And so they are the same ones who guard over the lighthouses. And you see it just kind of like the bright shining sun as it is like slowly starting to set, just haloing behind them. And this beautiful image of just kind of like looking out over the city. And you can hear this very like guttural, mournful cry from the wing, the bat-like creature itself, as it kind of like just kind of like looks out over.
And you could tell that the view from the apartment it was almost as if it was like they made sure that this room specifically had like a very good view of the lighthouse itself. Um, and I just like start putting around in the kitchen. I got us some drinks and stuff. And after we've gotten settled for a second, I kind of like look over at Rakra, and just like casually like sipping on some wine or something. Kind of look over and I'm like, so did you want to talk about earlier on the airship at all?
Rocker just kind of like looks panicked.
You don't have to. It's totally okay.
And she quickly like just stands up and like scurries into the kitchen and snags a pumpkin and like takes a bite out of it and just looks and goes, I can't talk about it right now, I'm eating.
That was decorative. Yeah.
Rockford just bit into a wax pumpkin. Not bad.
Ooh. It's okay.
Huh. And she just kind of keeps eating it. I've
Yeah,
had worse.
It's yeah. I'll take your word for it. Yeah, we don't have to talk about it. Don't worry about it. You also we can get regular pumpkins too. You don't have to eat that.
Okay, Ludwig. And she kind of just like like walks and sits right back under the window and like wipes this like the little bits of wax from her face.
Rakra, as you kind of like look out the window in like a little moment of an embarrassment, and you as you kind of like look out and over, look up at the lighthouse itself, and there is a part of you that feels a pull. There's a part of you that wants to know what's on the other side. And you don't necessarily know which part of you that is.
I kind of go quiet, like, and I stand up and I kind of like peer out the window. Is there a balcony like outside?
I'll say sure, because I love a really dramatic standing over the balcony moment. So I'm going to say yes.
Perfect. Perfect. So Rockra opens the window, even though there's a door, and just kind of like, I don't want to say dive, but like awkwardly climbs out the window and just sits and just starts like almost like grabbing onto the rings of the balcony and like sticking her face through. Very dazed.
Like legs through the railing, like just
Not
like
even
hands
like
on
she's
either
sitting
side.
crisscross applesauce
Oh, okay.
and just like pulling
but just
herself.
leaning forward and just looking in.
Yeah.
Okay. as you do, you kind of like look down and you can see that there are like some people. There are some people kind of like wandering by down in the encampment, and they kind of like look up for a second and see this just like little bit of a head pop out through the railing and kind of like give like a and they just like keep on walking for a second. But you kind of like have a small little moment.
Rockroar waves very quickly and then just hyper focuses again on the miss. And then like without really kind of like moving, I kind of ask out loud, what else is in there?
What do you mean exactly?
And I point.
The,
There.
light, the lighthouse?
No, past it. What's actually out there?
That's what we've been trying to map out. But doubtlessly horrors.
A lot of scary stuff.
Yeah.
It can be a little unnerving. A lot of stuff we don't understand too.
I wanna go out there. I need to go out there.
I don't think that's something that a lot of people commonly want to do.
What's out there for you?
Yeah.
Rocker kind of just goes quiet and like releases the bars and sits back. I can't tell you.
That's all right.
On your own time. No worries at all. You don't owe anyone anything.
Rocker,
What we're doing right now is helping everyone. So you can keep your reasons to yourself if need be.
I get up and kind of like crawl back through the window. But like I'm always looking back out. And then I look to Ludwig. And I kind of give you like the knowing, like you know. You know. And then I look to Valray and I say, okay. I don't trust you yet. But I don't not trust you yet. But I might have done something and fucked something up, and now I am not normal. And she just kind of squinches her face.
Oh, darling. In this world, how it is, I think the normal people are the strange ones.
Yeah, I mean, you say that.
All right. No. Okay. Okay.
I would say everyone has their own brand, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like
Our own brand.
we're all a little strange in our own ways, right?
Rocker's kind of like uneasy. We're just
You know what? Let's bake and talk.
okay.
So our hands can be occupied.
Not the pot.
So I came from the monastery. I don't know if you know that. We didn't really talk much, Valray. But I spent a lot of my life, and I mean a lot, outside of the last couple of months there, because I am part of the Okay.
I love that the voice got so high pitched it just disappeared eventually. It's like I don't know how to say this.
And like I'm readying myself. I'm like, okay, got this. Got this. I studied a lot of the stuff that is going on out there, but here's the thing. I did a thing and I wasn't supposed to do it, and I read a book and I started reading it and I didn't read it all the way, but then something happened and I changed and now I want to go out there. Point out the window.
Oh, so it's like a compulsion. Maybe? I don't know.
Velray,
I'm trying to look for a word.
roll me a history or an arcana check, whichever you prefer.
Okay. I rolled a dirty 20.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you working for the Congress of the Confluence. You have worked directly in hand with the agency known as the Bureau that the wonderful Caden Wintergate works. That actively studies phenomena related to the Eldritch Tide or like extraplanar, uh, like bizarre happening. One of the things that has started to be explored, it hasn't been fully. You haven't received a lot of details about it specifically. But one of the things that they have started to report on are individuals who have been touched by the tide and have like lived to see another day and like hold on to some form of fashion. Um, it beyond that very faint description, you know nothing else. But you know that it is a phenomena that the bureau is like actively studying and learning more about.
Okay. Well, Rockra, whatever happened to you out there, just know that it made you resilient. And that's what's important. You'll need that resilience in the days to come. So,
Rockford nods and then kind of just like sits and like takes a deep breath and says, "At the monastery, we learned about the monstrosities behind the tide. My job was to find ways to combat them. I lived behind the wall. It's not pleasant back there. It is much, much different because we are at the edge of those incoming monsters. My master told me not to go into the Forbidden Library, and I did. Those arms, they weren't there a few months ago.
I was going to
So
say they seem kind of cool.
yeah,
But is that insensitive?
they looked really cool, really really
It's
cool.
just
You saw
they
that
did look
movie,
really
did
cool.
the arms?
I
It was wild. It was very cool.
don't think so. Please don't tell anybody because I don't know what it is yet. But
It
Okay.
was probably very scary though. I can
For you,
imagine.
yeah.
Yeah.
it felt like I wasn't me anymore. It felt like I
Oh.
was being driven. Like one of those forsaken airships that are so cool. They're so cool.
Mhm.
But I wasn't me. I don't know. But I'm gonna say this, and I mean it with my whole heart. And I know it might be hard because I'm a lot taller than you. But if things go south, I'm trusting either one of you to take me out.
We'll make sure it doesn't come to that, but understood.
Only if
Absolutely.
necessary.
Mhm.
Okay. But if it comes, don't hesitate. Promise me.
Promise. I promise.
Promise.
Okay.
Y'all take a few moments to yourselves to let it all process, let it go for a second. Um, you hear the beep of the oven behind you to kind of like break the tension. Uh, Probably realize that the dough that you were kneading for pie crust is like heavily over kneaded at this point, but okay. Y'all take a few minutes, kind of like bake yourself up some more pie. And you end up making plenty of it, far too much actually. But you have plenty to Velray now be able to have some extra pumpkin pie on hand for your Nather's Mischief spell, as opposed to apple pie.
Woohoo.
And plenty of pie on hand to be able to bring to the other two who weren't able to join you for the rest of the day. Now, you do know that today, in particular, is the 26th of Marpanoth. You have one more day, the 27th, before those of you with government jobs get the next 3 days off of work. Each 10 day, each is a 10 day, and you work the first 7 days, and then you get the last 3 days to like have a little bit of a break, at least when you are a government official. Um, and so you will get a little bit of a break for the next 3 days, leaving tomorrow evening to be the perfect time to head to the descent. Is there any check-ins that you all wish to do with each other over the next day and a half? Check in with Caden. Check in with Kilcannon. Any individuals there?
Rakura would more than likely check in with Kilcannon.
Okay, perfect, perfect. So we'll go ahead and check in there. So at the conclusion of pie time, with our lovely trio, um, you kind of make your way through, and you've kind of fallen into this habit of being able to like check in at like the usual haunts, and eventually uh, happen upon Kilcannon. Your wonderful mastiff helping lead the way and sniff them out as they go. Um, and eventually you manage to find each other amongst the of probably over in Alatha as the borough that you're most likely to find each other.
I kind of just Kilcannon. Kilcannon.
I see you. You do not need to make a big fuss. It's quite fine. It's quite fine.
How are you?
It's been a long couple of days. I feel like my work is just going so slowly, and I just don't know if I can just continue doing this by myself.
Well, I'm sorry. I know that's hard, but if you need me, all you need to do is come get me and I'll help. Oh, wait. And then like Rocker like pulls out this like pumpkin pie out of like this satchel on the side of Coco and like presents it to Kilcannon. It looks terrible. It smells really good, but Rocker made it. I made this for you. I mean,
Thank you. I mean, the crumb looks a little overdone, but thank you.
it is.
Um,
I
in
tried.
Rockborough, you are one of the few people that I can let my guard down around and trust. And I feel so overwhelmed, and I feel like I'm just fighting this uphill battle. I just don't know what to do. I will absolutely ask for your help when I need it, but I feel like this is a mission I still must carry on my own because this is for the good of the augmented, and I just don't want you to be associated with the fallout that may happen when things go down.
Rocker like puts the pie down and like gets this very like serious face. Kill. Hear me out. I'm gonna die someday anyway. I'd rather live my life knowing full well that I helped people who I cared about. So if you need me, you come get me.
Rocker, thank you. I just you've been through so much on your own, and you are one of the few people that I can feel that understands the plight of what it means to be at the hands of those awful, awful people who have just ravaged my body and continue to harass and abuse so many others. But to ask you to be a part of this with the loss and the pain that I myself will probably cause, I can't ask you to do that. Not yet. This is something I have to do on my own.
Okay, I trust you. And I will trust that if you need help, you'll come get me.
I will. And again,
But that
I
doesn't
appreciate
mean
you.
we're not going to go turn up. Okay? Because sometimes when you're overwhelmed, you just got to drop it. You got to throw back a few, and you got to tell whoever you think is cute that they're cute, and just that it'll be a good time. And then you go back to work or whatever.
You do remember fondly that one time you gave me one of your beverages and I was blacked out for 2 days afterwards. I lost all of my clothes. I don't remember half of what was done, but I still have these people down the street that snicker at me as I walk by. I don't want to do that again.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah,
uh,
well, you walk around the streets without your pants on and you tell me how it feels.
right now, Rockford
No,
like actually
not right
starts to.
now. How about this? Just maybe someday, but not until later. I really just can't suffer that embarrassment again. I just again, the Snickers and the pants. It was so drafty.
Well, that's fair, but let me tell you this: you were the life of the party.
I don't have a singing voice, but I hate the fact that people still mimic the terrible song that I was singing apparently.
It was great. It was great. Yeah, no, we loved it. And there was this little tiefling, like hermit person in the corner that was just eyeing you. It was very cute.
I'm
And
gonna
then you
send a
told them
s-
to shut the fuck up.
I
They
was gonna
weren't
send a
even
s-
talking.
I was gonna send a scarab their way and make their dreams miserable.
You see, you remember that, but not the pants. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Do you want
I
the
hope
pie?
I'll take the pie, but again, can I just ask you to not overwork the dough next time?
Yeah, yeah. If you don't want to eat it, throw it at somebody.
Or
Take the filling out first, because that's important. Pumpkin.
okay, I won't waste the filling.
Okay, good. Put a scarab in it and throw it at somebody. I don't care.
y'all y'all have this minorly sweet moment between two people who have found themselves kind of like put off by much of the rest of the world and find themselves making do. Those that they can find around them to rally around each. As we have this sweet moment, what are Ludwig, Velray, and Caden doing for the rest of the day before the evening that we will be heading off to the.
Um, I am taking a leisurely walk back toward the homestead after collecting my thoughts, and on the way home, I pick up a newspaper and see what is currently in the newspaper.
Yes. So as you start to make your way uh, home, you stop by and pick up another one of the newspapers, and you find the uh, the same column that you had found before, the scarlet letter, as it were, the bit of like the gossip column of things, whispering of uh, tales of civil unrest amongst the Fae. It whispers of Fae against Fae as the courts continue to bicker amongst themselves and refuse to show a united front amongst the Congress. And how there seem to be stirrings about who actually could be in charge of the Fae at this time. But those outside of the Fae courts know nothing of what happens within. And it's about time for somebody to peel back those layers and find out exactly what's happening. And so it continues talking about this like idea of civil unrest amongst the Fae faction.
Hmm. These people are going to be their undoing, but at the very least, well, hmm, off to the homestead I go, I guess. Was I supposed to pick up anything? Yeah, Lil will probably tell me when I get home.
As you make your way home and inside, you find your family at the ready. Your partner toiling away in the kitchen, preparing dinner, and your daughter in the living room. Them like actively kind of like playing away at like some wordplay puzzles from some of like the back pages of the news. If you would like to describe your family.
Oh wow, you did that. Okay. Hold on. Because like now I actually have notes on this. Okay. So um um so the wife who is currently cooking has just long blonde hair. She has a medium build and she's um also works in a different like department of the bureau that's more focused on the public relations side of things. So just kind of like newspaper articles, media clips, that kind of thing. Melly is shorter with um wild brown hair. It is medium length at this point because she is a liability if we keep her hair long and is very curious, has questions about everything all the time.
You can see as she like kind of like looks up as you enter, and she's toiling away at like the word problem on it. Does she refer to you as dad, father? What is the regular terminology that Melly addresses you?
Um, hmm. I did not make that note here, but you know something? We're going to use Papa here.
Papa? Okay, perfect. So she looks up, she goes, Papa, I'm really struggling. I've got one I've got one answer left on today's crossword.
Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be a word for holding back the ocean tide. Uh 5 letters. It starts with an L. I don't know this word.
A five-letter word for holding back a tide.
Yeah, it starts with an L. I've got another, and you hear from the other room,
Mm-hmm.
your partner call out. It's a levee, honey, a levee. Levee. 2 E's at the end, not before the V. Um, she kind of looks over for a second, and you see her kind of like walk past the open doorway into the kitchen, and she looks over and she goes, Helps whenever you take care of all of the papers and things. And she continues like walking by. You can see her kind of like wiping her hands on like a towel of sorts. She's got like wiping the sauce off from dinner.
I give Melly a forehead kiss and go, "This is why you listen to your mother."
She goes, "It's okay. I knew you would have it. It's okay, Papa." And she gives a little kiss on the forehead as well. And she fills it in. And she kind of like stands back and looks at it really proudly. And then goes and like sets it inside of a little notebook where she keeps all of the completed like crossword puzzles and word searches and things like that she's been doing. Um, and you walk inside into the kitchen, and you can see that the one of the tables in there is full of papers from today. You can see a number of articles have been like cut out specifically. Extra sections of the paper are at the side, and you see your partner taking some of the meat that's not being used for tonight, kind of like wrapping it in some of the excess paper and kind of like setting it away into the um and kind of like walks over and gives you a little bit of a kiss on the cheek and just says, "I couldn't resist the opportunity, just a little."
But only a little. Do you need any help with all of that paperwork you have over there?
Oh, if you actually wouldn't mind cleaning the table, save all of the articles that I've cut out. I'm gonna need them for work. And you can see that there are a number of articles that talk about things that have been discussed from Congress, uh, uh, new projects going on within the city of Ichthus, as well as you notice that one of the articles that your partner's cut out is the latest article from the Scarlet Letter, talking about the rumors of the Fey unrest.
So how was your day? What did you do? Well, I'm organizing papers.
Oh, it's been fine overall. Nothing particularly exciting. There was a word in from the office. They dropped it off to me. We're out on assignment, I guess, today. But there were individuals who stopped by and wanted to check in on you, seeing if you were going to be attending a I was a little surprised. A nightclub with them. I say this with all of the love and respect in the world for you. Um, clubs aren't your scene. Clubs aren't our scene. I was a little, admittedly, curious and a little entertained.
So I just take both of her hands very gently and I just go, "No, they are certainly not. But these are the new coworkers that I have. So I offered to go out if they wanted to go out at least once. I'd only do this like what, once every 6 months or so.
Because this is true. It's been a very long time. I think the last time that you did so was probably 9 or 10 months before now. Almost a year. God, it has been quite a while. We should get out more. Do something. Go try a new place sometime.
Maybe a couple of some things.
I'd like that. She kind of gives a little bit of a look over and says, "Want to help finish up dinner? I'll go file these away in my office."
Um, sure. Happy to help with that. Um, Actually, here, let me help you with taking these papers to wherever they need to go, and we can finish dinner together.
She goes, "Oh, no, no, I'm perfectly fine. I'll rejoin you in just a second." And she
Hmm.
seems like a little bit insistent on it. She kind of like takes the papers from you really quickly. She's like, "Oh no, it's totally fine. I know you have your filing system. I have my filing system. It's okay, honey."
So, a quick question. Um, just a general vibe check. Not saying anything, but just a vibe check.
Go ahead and give me a vibe check if you.
That is a 16 on the vibe check.
She seems to be like a little preoccupied. Um, there seems to be like something on her mind that she's not like really like discussing overall.
Hmm.
You're not certain.
Okay, then I just go, hey, work's been stressful and things, and you probably have a lot of articles coming up. And if my days of investigating are any measure of that, you probably have more than enough going on in the PR room. But if you have something on your mind you want to talk about, let me know.
Kind of stops for a second. She's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. It's there's been so much these days. Um, folks don't seem to know what to do. They don't really have the right answers, and it's been so hard trying to come up with something to tell everybody to make them feel better. That's largely what my my department does. I just I don't necessarily know what to say to anybody these. It's been a lot, and it's been pretty difficult to handle. I'm not gonna lie.
It's going to be okay. That's what you have me for.
Kind of like stops for a second and kind of just like puts a hand on yours and um kind of goes, You're right. I'm sorry. I'm so in my head these days. It's I'm glad that we get to have our time together. Maybe sometime in the next week or so, we can do something together. Or you can introduce me to your new friends, your new coworkers.
I'll give that one some thought. Anyway, and I give her a light kiss and go, right, I'm going to go finish dinner in the kitchen. Let me know if you need anything. And I just go to the kitchen.
Thanks, absolutely. She takes the papers and heads back further into the house into her office. Give me a perception check, Hayden.
Perception.
Yes, put a perception, please.
That is a 25.
Okay. Simmer down. It's fine. Um, as you start kind of like prepping things, you kind of like peek your head into the living room and you tell Melly like, Melly, like go wash up for dinner. She's like, oh yeah, absolutely, 100%. And she like heads off, and you kind of like watch her like head off down the hallway. And as you do, you notice that uh your partner puts a number of the articles and things into like the top drawer of her filing cabinet, and then she takes like a smaller folder. Like, she like sets some aside, puts some in a folder, and puts it into like a completely separate filing cabinet. And you see her kind of like turn a little lock.
Hmm.
And as she steps back out into the hallway, she sees Melly kind of like run by. She's like, "Oh, be careful, be careful." She comes and joins you again and goes, "So, shall we finish up dinner?"
Sure.
The two of you finish cooking the rest of dinner for your little family there. And you'll have a wonderful evening at home. Melly regaling you
Actually,
on. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
if I do go out, what should I wear?
Goes. Um. Oh, I don't know. I mean, we haven't like gone out in such a long time. I don't what like what do they wear these days? They go to like events and things. Um, be like get you something new? out a new outfit? I'm not sure.
Sounds like we have an adventure on our hands.
He goes, can go shopping tomorrow, whenever you get off work, and then you'll be able to meet up with your friends tomorrow evening.
You know something? That sounds like a plan. We do have that's right. It is our 3 days soon.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I think I need that. I'm looking forward to doing some work out in the garden. The squash is coming along really nicely. I'm very, very.
Hmm. You'll be very interested to know that one of our new coworkers really enjoys gourds. They're probably going to be very much in love with your squashes.
You can see her face kind of like light up. She's like, I will definitely make a note of that. And if we get to have them over for dinner or have a night out, I'll make sure to kind of like prep a little lovely little basket for them. That's so exciting. You meet such exciting folks in your work. I love my job, but it our department is very, very dull. Not a lot of excitement going.
Well, given the last couple of days, let me assure you, they will be exciting enough for several lifetimes.
She kind of giggles for a second. She goes, "You'll have to tell me that story another time," and gives like a little bit of a like nod over to Melly, and Melly's like, "What? I can know."
You know something? Fair enough. Speaking of story times, I just pick up Belly and put her in a chair at the table. Story of the day.
You see, her just
No, no,
kind of
no.
like
That's
at
that's no, that's you. You have to tell me a story today. It's
oh,
your turn.
oh, okay, okay. So I went, and she like proceeds to tell this wonderful story about getting to play with kids at the kind of like regular like recess time at school, and they found a mysterious marking on the ground. And all of the kids were talking about like, "Ooh, I wonder if it's the tide." And Melly correctly surmised that a like one of the carriages had just swerved nearby on the street a little bit too quickly and left a skid mark by it. And she was like, and I knew it because I was able to correctly identify that it was exactly the width of the wheels that are on the carriage.
Ah, my little investigator girl. You know something? If it weren't so dangerous, I would say that you should work at the job that I work at.
Melly kind of like looks over and goes, "Really, you think so? Oh, it would be so exciting. There's so much exciting work that you get to do." And you see your partner kind of like tense up for a second and goes, "Well, I mean, there's so many wonderful places that you can work at in the bureau. There's a lot of jobs out there for art."
It's true.
Uh, and the rest of the dinner kind of like goes by. You can see that there is like a little bit more like unease that your partner kind of like gives off on occasion, especially when Melly kind of like talks about like chats with you about your work that you're doing at the bureau and like what you've been up to the past couple days, and you give some accounts but not details
Mhm.
to your daughter. um and even that you see almost like this bristling from your um and through the rest of the evening, even after dinner, as you all are kind of washing up, you notice her be kind of like a little bit like she tries to play it off, but you can tell that there's like a little like unease there. But she kind of keeps brushing it off. She's like, "No, no, it's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. Just work stress. It's a lot."
Mhm. You know, and I say this as half like half joking, half serious as possible. You know something? The way that your, facial expressions, your body language is set up and things, you wouldn't make it through a night of poker.
Yeah. Stop! You always get like the. It's fine. I'm fine. We just we drop it. It's been a very long couple days. I'm very much looking forward to our 3 day. Um, can you handle the rest of the dishes? I'm gonna go clean up and call it a night.
Sure.
And she kind of like heads off like further into the house. Um, and exchanges pleasantries with you afterwards and kind of like lays down for a night's rest, but you can tell that there's just something off. That vibe check
So,
definitely is like picking up on something.
hmm. So when I go into the kitchen afterward, I'm just like, so the storm begins.
We pick up the next day as those of you are taking care of your various endeavors. Does anybody have anything specific that they need to attend to beforehand? Of course, we have the fabulous Caden going shopping with their spouse for an outfit for. Um,
Rockra would have went shopping as well, but on her own.
Ludwig would have just worn whatever was in his closet. It was like the only other shirt that wasn't like white.
Perfect. Velray, how did you get dressed up?
Velray would have already had outfits from her party days that she definitely recycles and just
I
tries to
was
treat
gonna say
them well.
Velray has events and things. And
Yeah.
I understand it that Velray has changed seasons. Is that correct?
She will, and she would have actually wanted to talk to Ludwig about that.
Ooh, okay, perfect. So we
Hmm.
can before everybody makes their way to words to the descent. I completely forgot the name of my own club for a second. Um, yeah, so Velray can absolutely find Ludwig the very next day.
Cool. All right. Yeah, she would have come by his place like with a bottle of honey mead or something and just knock knock, looking a little pensive.
And I would, Ludwig would have gone over, opened the door, and it's so nice to see you. You could tell just by the expression on his face, he's really not used to having visitors. And like welcomes you in, is like way too eager.
Oh. Yeah, hello, and I brought some mead. This is mostly for me, but please have some too.
No, thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, no, do you want some right now?
Yes.
I'll pour some glasses. What brings you
Thank
over?
you.
What's going on?
All right. So the pumpkin pie was dual purpose. It
How
was
so?
for my spell, but also because I wanted to get into, the fall mood. Um, you know how during some of our battles together, I was feeling blue, like literally you saw I was blue.
Yeah.
Okay, just
I
as a
did. Yeah.
warning, you're gonna see new colors soon.
Wait,
So,
what do you mean? Like you're like going shopping? Like what do you like?
oh, you're precious. No, I'll be looking a little purple.
Oh, like have you done this before? Is this regular for you?
Oh, it's definitely a more recent development. But I'm trying to learn how to channel it in a useful way. So I need to be charming for this club outing.
Okay.
People seem to like me the most when I'm animal, I guess. They think
You
I'm
think
too
so? Really?
brash. Yeah, they don't like
What?
it when I just say things. So, anyway,
I wouldn't let that bother you too much. As long as you're happy with what you're coming off as, I think that's most important.
thank you.
Even
That's
even
actually
if
really sweet.
yeah, and even if things change, because things always do change, right? Just like the seasons, um, just embrace it. Try and roll with it.
I would love to pursue that luxury once we deal with this Eldritch Tide. For now, I want to utilize this in a useful fashion. So it is nice knowing that there's people like you, though, that just appreciate me no matter what season I'm displaying.
Yeah, I think that I don't think so many people should be so upset about it or so uptight about it. I think there's a lot more pressing issues at hand a lot of the time.
Oh gosh, talk to
Try
me
not to
about
take
it.
things too
Oh,
seriously.
we just
Can
need to
I
get this done.
can I ask? Um, it's really none of my business. How did you end up in the position that you're in? I'm always curious how people end up where they are.
In Congress? Is
Yeah.
that what you mean? Or
Hmm.
oh, okay. Um, well, at the start of when the planes came together, when the Eldritch Tide first came to be, I didn't know I was an Eldrin elf. When that happened, I was with my teammates and they were like, "Hey, Velray, what's with your hair?" Like, I used to have this nice auburn hair. Anyway, ever since then, I've been trying to help and just using magic to hurl fireballs.
Right.
That gets some things done. That's helpful,
Yeah.
but I felt like I needed to try to at least direct it to the powers that be to be faster about helping us protect the citizens. There are people going missing, and
Oh,
what's being done? It just feels like we're going at a snail's pace. So I inserted myself into politics.
yeah.
I got some help, learned up on my magic. Here we are.
Right. I mean, it's kind of nice that it's like a chosen thing. You know what I mean? It sounds like you're really you're taking change that's kind of been spurred upon you and really putting the reins on it, and kind of making it your own, doing your own thing with it. And that sounds pretty cool. I like that.
I'm glad you think that.
It comes off
Um,
that way, at least. I don't know if that's necessarily all true, but
gotta project it.
right, right.
Oh
Look at
yeah,
that.
because I don't know if you've noticed, there aren't exactly a lot of other people of the Fae
I
on my
was going
part of
to
the
ask.
Congress.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
especially you said Eladrin, Eladrin. How do you
Eldrin,
Eladrin?
yes.
Okay. I'm not entirely familiar. I know, and I'll start speaking in Elvish. But it's fairly it's like really rough. You could tell like you could tell I've practiced, but it's someone who like has learned a language but hasn't actually spoken it with too many people too often, mostly just listens. Um but he's like I've just not I've learned Elvish, and I've spent a lot of time around different elves, but I don't think any Eladrin.
That was pretty good. If you ever want to practice, let me know.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. It's kind of part of the job I had to learn. So
It's
a
smart.
necessity, you know.
It's logical.
Yeah. And if you ever need any help with anything too, because I know kind of what you were saying about how no one really wants to do anything, it seems sometimes, especially within the government, in the Congress and stuff like that. And I definitely see that. Um, I definitely experience that. I see a lot of it, but we can only do so much. But it's really nice that you're in a position where you're striving for some really big change for people. That's cool.
really trying. It is. Ludwig, I am not made for this, but I'm going to try. My damnest.
You're natural at it. I can tell. I can see your urgency to help people. It comes across.
Thank you for this. I needed this.
No problem at all. I'm a little bit nervous, I have to tell you. I have to kind of admit. I've not been out to a nightclub before.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I'm not sure what to expect.
I'm so happy we're going to go together. Okay. I know we're going there for work, but we also got to have some fun. Like,
I
yes.
Okay, all right, I'll try. I don't know. I think I get so focused when I'm on the job, you know what I mean? I guess like very pinpoint, and I'm like, gotta do what we gotta do. It's hard for me to loosen up. It's hard to smell the smells sometimes.
Oh, you'll be smelling so many smells. I'm excited for you. This is going to be great.
I hope they're good smells.
Mostly. If not, let me know and I'll just, prestidigitation that away.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I also am in a little bit of a pickle too. I hope we don't run into anything dangerous while we're there, because I probably won't have my armor.
Oh. Yeah. It's too bad I don't know how to disguise that.
Wait, do you?
No.
Oh, I thought. I was
Would have
really
been great,
hoping.
huh?
Yeah, that would have been great. That you should. I mean, they should come up with that. They should.
I've seen people do it. Oh gosh. Well, by the gods. Well, maybe in the future.
Yeah.
That was
If I look out of place though, when we're out tonight, that's why though. I'm just a little nervous.
You'll be among friends. Like everyone likes you in this group. Like everyone.
I don't know if that's necessary.
Okay, kill Cannon, but like I feel like he hates other people more.
Yeah, I don't
How
think it's
about
personal.
that?
Yeah, I don't think it's personal at all. I think it's just like he might just wake up on the bad side of the bed sometimes, you know.
Or all the time. But okay, that's a fair point. I just feel like he hates you less. Loves Rockra. Well, okay, not I don't know. I can't tell. Anyway.
I'm glad you came over though. Thank you for stopping by.
Yeah.
Somewhere far away, I'm sneezing because I'm being talked about.
Same. I kind of like put a finger in my ear because it starts tingling.
Y'all have a beautiful time kind of like spending that moment, kind of like connecting together. Velray, you head off to prepare for the season, and slowly but surely throughout your day, each prepare in your own special way to attend the whenever we get back from break, I will allow everybody to fabulously describe what they are wearing to the nightclub. Because who doesn't love a fabulous little fashion moment? As we all head to a wonderful in a absolutely pretentious part of town. Thank you all so much for all of your support and your hype throughout tonight. We've gotten so much exciting character development from so many people this year. And we are going to be heading deep into a nightclub and speak this evening as we continue investigation. So be prepared for even more excitement there. We are at $70 towards our weekly nightmare gauge. So if you would like a terrifying moment of horror to happen during the visit to the descent, feel free to tip all of these wonderful, wonderful players with exclamation point nightmare, and you can help get us that much closer to something truly terrifying and heinous happening while we nightclub. Thank you all so much. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break. So go grab yourself a drink, leveled up or not. Take a little bit of a stretch, grab yourself a snack, and we will return in roughly 10 minutes for the conclusion of tonight's second episode of the Eldritch Tide. Thank you all so much. We'll be right back. masked individuals have been making their way through the city, enacting odd, nefarious activities as they have been turning individuals into terrifying eldritch horror monsters, and have been making their way through and affecting individuals. So, uh, thank you all so much as our players are going to be heading in. If you are tuning in for the first time, you can actually help affect tonight's gameplay by tipping directly to our Nightmare Gauge. All of the tips gathered from the Nightmare Gauge go directly to all of the wonderful players and help support them for all of their wonderful efforts for coming in and joining us for the game tonight. And if we fill up the Nightmare Gauge every time we do so, we actually get to introduce a moment of terror and horror into the game, potentially changing things up. Last session, when our Nightmare Gauge got full, an enforcer of a merchant baron got turned into an eldritch horror and started attacking our players and their form. So, wonder what will happen this evening as we head down in this fabulously sea known as the Descent. One by one, all of our players slowly arrive and outside of the restaurant, almost cheekily named Limbo. This is a beautiful, almost like primarily outdoor i- restaurant and establishment here in the borough of Rotten. You can smell all manner of beautiful scents coming in from the kitchen. You can see that the uh, patrons themselves are kind of situated on two sides, and the kitchen itself is all within like the main center structure. And as the worst best kept secret here in the capital city, you can make out that there is already a line forming at the back door into quote unquote kitchen of and it is here that the five of you slowly rejoin and make yourselves a group once. What is everybody wearing this evening, as they make their way to the club, as it were?
I am just wearing, like, it basically looks like this: very simple hat, a simple cardigan, and a plain black shirt. I am not wearing the symbol of my station because goodness knows we don't need that today.
Wonderful, wonderful. Uh, Having picked up a new set of clothes after work with your partner, you came dressed and uh Kilcannon, wearing anything in particular?
Just like the nature of my dark black soul, I am wearing a nice tailored black suit just because I want everyone to know that I prioritize and appreciate a clean look, but at the same time, I want everyone to know I have no fun and frivolity within me whatsoever.
I love the juxtaposition between the sweet beans that we have gotten to see this evening of the rest of the members of the party interacting with each other in these very like wholesome ways, and immediately cut to just like the blackness of my soul.
I always do an eye roll when I see too much color that people like to wear. It's exhausting on the eyes and on the senses in general.
That cuts us to Ludwig.
Ludwig is wearing uh probably one of the only outfits that he really has outside of his armor. His normal white shirt, he is still wearing that, but over it he has a black coat with gold like thread and inlay all up it. It's very very fancy, but it is still part of his angler costume, and you can tell as much because there is like the symbol of the angler still on it. Like he doesn't have any casual clothes. He just came in the best dressed
Ludwig,
formal
Not him
Ludwig
wearing his dress formals.
yes,
Yeah.
Ludwig totally showed up to the club in the dress formals like, oh, y'all know what I do. I see you. I see you, Ludwig. What did Rockra end up getting for their night out at the club?
Okay, so Rakra had read the Scarlet Letter and the fashion column in the paper, went to the store, and has now acquired a like long black kinda like looks like latex dress with a slit all the way up to her hip. Okay. And she's got a lavish black cloak with a hood that has like silver threads within it. So when the light kind of like reflects off of it, it almost looks like a twinkle, like a star. All right. She we out here. So instead of the big robes like you see, the body.
All that body, yaddy,
Oh,
yaddy.
Okay.
And she got heels, so now she's 6'10".
Mhm.
She's got 5
Okay.
inch heels.
She's
She's
Not the
said twinkle.
stilettos.
Rockra full on said twinkle twinkle big ol' star.
That
Hi.
part. That part. Yes.
And Velray sporting her new autumnal.
Mm-hmm. Feeling the purples. But yeah, she's wearing her usual mesh on top, but like underneath is this like orange low cut pantsuit, which you can't really see, but I'm wearing it. Yes. And it's like a nice sporty material like Sweatwick. So it's functional and cute. So perfect for her.
Okay. Okay. So
And like she would also be wearing like those race stripes just to be fun.
ooh, so in addition to like the normal makeup, just got like a little bit of like sport racing stripes across the jeans.
Mhm.
I like it. I dig
Yeah.
it. Now you, Velray, have not necessarily been to the descent itself. Like you may not have been in the club. However, you do know that it houses a like a derby like pit in a
Mhm.
way, like further in. So you have like you've done a stint or two here before with your old derby team. And so as all of you kind of like arrive on scene, you and Kilcannon end up kind of like as like the two people who are like most equipped to arrive at this. Um, you notice as you arrive, the first person that you see on site is this incredibly tall, broad-shouldered minotaur. Um, and you hear the individuals in front of you say, "Thanks, Big Hastings," and he just kind of gives like a really big like gruff like exhalation of breath right past. You can see it like jiggles his very large septum piercing a little bit. And he kind of like looks over for a second and he says name, and as he looks up he spots Velray and is like, oh, oh, Congress can enter right away, of course. I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no worries. I brought some friends though.
It kind of looks over. It's like, oh, hold on. Let me count for a second. Uh, Hastings, and he kind of like calls down the thing. And you hear somebody in line go, "Wait, I thought your name was Hastings." And he goes, "No, no, I'm Big Hastings. That's just Hastings down there." Uh, and you hear him call out, goes, "Don't worry." And before you can say anything else, you actually watch as two figures get thrown out the doorway past Big Hastings onto the ground, and one of them actually kicks up a little bit of dirt, and it like lands onto Big Hastings' shoe, and you just hear him go, and the individual's like, so sorry, Big Hastings. So sorry. I'm so sorry. We're gonna go. We're fine. Like cleans it with like the elbow of
Oh,
their
let me
jacket.
help. Let me help.
During
Make
this
it
chaos, can I
Visitation.
just try and stealth my way in, just because I'm just over this, like this parade of chaos?
Big Hastings just kind of like lets open the rope and like ushers the five of you in. And like literally like grabs onto like Velray's shoulders, like no Velray, or like, it's like no Congress, it's okay, they'll take care of this, and like
All right.
ushers y'all in as they're like cleaning off his shoe. As you walk into the door, you immediately see this spiral wrought iron staircase. You can look past you and you can see into the actual kitchen, like folks like actively like cooking meals for the people that are at the restaurant itself. And as you slowly descend this spiral staircase, you can hear less and less of the sound of pots and pans banging together, metal utensils being used on pots that they shouldn't be used on. Don't use metal utensils on all of your pots, everybody. Uh, and as you eventually arrive at the bottom, that those sounds slowly overtake to this almost like odd, discordant jazz that is like emanating out from the interior of this club. And you can see at the bottom of the spiral staircase, you see another Minotaur, very similar build, incredibly tall. They have like lots of piercings along both ears. Um, and they introduce themselves as just Hastings. Uh, they any weapons, contraband.
I'm
Rockra
playing.
like slowly pulls out like mint leaves from betwixt her bosom and like offers it.
Oh, you can give those to Lil Hastings. And he points across the hall at yet another Minotaur of the same build, in like a very, very like well pressed suit, behind like a little cubicle in the hallway, and you can see
Ooh, look,
basically
Kilcannon
coat.
has a
It's
buddy.
like coat check. So he's like, you hand it right over there.
Okay. And like Rockra like still kind of shuffles her way in this dress and these heels and like just
Lil
here.
Hastings doesn't even like think twice, just takes the mint leaves, like finds a small bag, like sticks them in, tears off a little bit of a ticket, sticks one in the bag and hands the other to you. Like doesn't even question it. It's just like, "Oh yeah, somebody totally said that like these mint leaves were contraband, so they need to hold on to them."
Rockra takes the ticket and just looks at it, sticks it in there, make sure it's snug.
Does anybody attempt to sneak in weapons or
Yes.
contraband? Look,
Yes.
I am aware that your answer was going to be yes. I have to front it to the group.
Yes.
Am I going to bring things in here? Let's see. What do I have? You know something? I am going to try to sneak in one thing.
Okay,
What role,
wonderful.
what role do you want?
I would like sleight of hand checks or stealth checks from Caden and Kilcannon. Yes, Kilcannon.
I like
You
at this
said
moment it's just played the character perfectly. I rolled a nat 20.
you said sleight of hand or what?
Sleight of hand or stealth.
Okay.
Kilcannon, what did you get total?
25.
Great. You have smuggled harder things into more difficult places. It is. And Caden?
We don't want to talk about it.
We don't talk about Bruno.
So Just Hastings holds up a hand and is like, now you probably want to hand that over, and whatever it was that you were trying to like smuggle in, Hastings kind of like points to like the outline of it in like either like your pocket or like tucked into your belt, whatever it was.
I hand them a small like bundle of arrows.
And there's somebody's like, oh, all right, Lil Hastings, here you go. And Lil Hastings is like, wow. I mean, kudos, but I'll take that, thank you. And like rips off the little bit of a ticket and hands it over to Caden.
Rocker puts her hands out. If you want me to hold it. I don't have pockets. But hold it.
Rockrod, not
Are you
everything
gonna leave her
belongs in
hanging?
your bosom.
I mean, they're there.
We are all aware that they're there.
Oh,
Trust me.
so you were looking?
I
Kilkenny?
mean, I would be an absolute idiot if I didn't notice.
Rocker just blushes and says, "Okay."
Are there any animals nearby?
Any animals nearby? As you look up and around, you don't notice any animals directly around you. However, you hear almost what sounds like hyena laughter. Like it just like continues and continues and continues high over this like discordant jazz music that is playing. And it catches on your ear and it just hangs onto it. And you peer behind, like you peer past, and you like take a few steps and you look into the main speakeasy club itself. And you can see just the most immaculately decorated art deco club you have ever seen. There is like gold leaf filigree and inlay on everything in beautiful angles. You see the entire bar almost seems like it is completely designed in crystal. And the way all of the light hits everything, it creates just this little bit of shimmer and sparkle on every single. And
Hmm.
far across the way, on a little bit of a side stage that connects directly to the main stage of the club, you can see the house band, where that hyena-esque cackle is coming from. And you see on every single instrument, the violin, the piano, the drums, the trumpets, every single instrument in this house band is manned by imps or tiny little devils that are just cackling into the air, and just riffing on this like improvisational jazz that plays out almost discordant like, and there's always like one note that's a little bit wrong, but it just seems to fit. um and the five of you can make out as you kind of like enter into the club for the far up above on a balcony that overlooks everything. You can see a figure standing in a completely white suit, pale skin. You see just dangling off of the head in almost like an angle, this very dulled out, almost gray esque, like halo or tiara, like dangling at an edge, and behind them, played out, not in full formation, you see these pair of angel wings that have been ripped at the first tendon and constantly drip blood down his back, lightly staining the white of the suit before it slowly dissipates and turns white once more. And you see it drip over and over again. And you see them kind of like looking out into the back of the balcony, and they're kind of laughing and cheersing to individuals as they go. And they seem to pay nobody in the rest of the club any mind, save for those that are on the balcony, presumably the VIP.
That person brings a whole new meaning to the word emo, and it's exhausting.
They're bleeding.
I take a moment to suppress several chuckles.
I was about to say, look, I'm aware that I am an outsider in this perspective, but you described your outfit is as black as your soul, and then you are reading another individual for having an emo aesthetic. I just want to point that one out really fastly before we continue on with this.
There is a difference between taste and pleading for attention.
And
Oh
bleeding for attention.
no.
Y'all make your way into the club, and you can see that all of the bartenders and the cocktail waiters and waitresses are all tieflings and Asimar. You see all of them in this like beautiful, like tight, tight outfits. There isn't like a particular uniform, but you can tell that everything kind of goes in this like black, white, and gold theme that everybody has going on. Maybe there's why I dress myself in this. As everybody in the club kind of like dresses to like their version of the aesthetic while maintaining the specific colors of the club overall.
Okay, Met Gala.
Look, and as you arrive at the bar, the bartender takes your drink and has you all arrive there. You can see that as they take everybody's individual orders, they actually take a look at Kilcannon and say, are you here for Casilda?"
Wish you would have said that I might have been here for them if not in front of these people that I'm with, but if they have a moment, that would be nice.
Casilda.
I'll check in and I'll send word back to see if she's available before the show. She does go on first tonight. She's the headliner and the closer, but she might be able to get to you after your performance, after her opening performance.
I'm just reminded that decorum is quite nice. So maybe again, thank you for facilitating, but maybe just be a bit more discreet next time.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that you were one of her regulars. I thought that you were a fan, and they actually gestured to the like augment. Uh,
Huh.
you hear
I'm so
a. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm surprised he. This is. I'm surprised you didn't just try sending a reservation.
Reservations are so tiring. People should expect me.
Mm. Mm. Okay. Well, y'all, it seems that tension has already started. So, hey, do you have any of that orcish mead?
Oh, good taste. And they head over to a small cask that is like sitting up on like the second shelf, and they like pour you a tankard. And around this time, as they're like finishing out everybody's drink orders, you hear the like discordant jazz music start to quiet, and you hear everybody in the club start to kind of like get really, really like rowdy and excited. And you hear two very loud, very piercing claps from the balcony, and the five of you can kind of look up from your spots at the bar, and you see that at this point, the club owner turns and is giving full attention to Paige. The five of you watch as the lights slowly dim in the club, and you hear the sound of a little bit of metal hitting the deck of the stage. And you can watch as the tip of a cane sparks time it takes a step through the darkness of the stage. See it hit and it sparks a light. See it hit and it sparks a light. And eventually, it takes a spark right next to where the standing microphone at the front of the. Slowly, the lights come up on the figure, and you standing there, tall, commanding, and majestic, the figure of beautiful, dark, raven hair cascading down one shoulder, almost to her ankle. You see this beautiful uh, white, you see this beautiful, like, light, almost jaundice yellow dress, plunging neckline, cascading down around her ankle. And as you look from the feet up, as you catch the light of that cane standing there, you see what look like fins of some kind of aquatic individual across the. That skin tone and scales carries up the feet into the line of the dress, but you can see that there are faint scar marks actually up the insides of the on either side, and as they carry up, you can see this woman almost looks siren. Uh, And as it carries upward and you continue following, you watch as there are faint tips of augmentation at each of her at each of the ends of her fingertips. It carries upward further, and you notice an actually implanted voice box at the front of her, surrounded on all sides by scales. And as the light hits her, you watch as two individuals step out and take the spot of the imps that were at the piano and the violin, um, and almost take over for them. And as the music begins to swell and she begins to sing, and you watch as the voice box slowly on and starts creating harmony and melodies alongside of her, creating this entire beautiful array of that is the entire audience is everybody is silent. There is not a clinking glass or a tapping of a foot in the entire. And as that happens, Rakra, you hear in your head, please find me when your friend comes to. I would like to hear the tone of Cass, despite the fact that she's singing both through her own voice and the augmented edition of the voice box beside her. As the song comes to a close, this beautiful, beautiful jazz ballad, as it stops, the entire club erupts in applause. Everybody clamoring to their feet. You see gold coins and flowers being flung onto the stage. And Kilcannon, you notice a knowing glance in your direction from Cassandra, as she gives a little bit of a nod and a bow to everybody. And she raises one hand, holding on to her cane. She raises one hand up to the owner of the bar, who tips her glass. And she slowly makes her way off the accented spark of the metal tipped cane, making those little ignites along the stage as she.
Huh. Okay. So Rockra takes her tankard and just downs the contents of that mug, places it on the counter, and says, "If I don't come back, just kidding, I'll come back." And then she like kind of quasi makes her way through the crowd to try to find Casilda.
I roll my eyes and say, neither Casilda nor Rockra clearly have any sort of flair for anything close to demure attitude. I'm gonna make sure Rockra okay while she scurries about and hopefully doesn't create any more problems than we already have.
The other three watch as Kilcannon and Rockra disappear into the crowd of the club and head backstage. The other three watching on as from the high rafters of the stage descend a series of incredibly sharp hooked chains and like this large aerial metal circle in the middle. Slowly from the backstage, we watch as this beautiful woman, vibrant red hair, almost tinges of flame at the edges, and this almost uh, bronze, brassy esque like breastplate and like almost like a short made out of like brass and bronze. Walks onto stage on one side, and from the other side, we see this masculine esque individual. Um, Wrapped in whirling chains that constantly move with every motion of their body. And you can watch as they move, the hooked and barbed chains from the scene slowly. And you watch as they meet in the middle of the stage, embrace, and slowly you watch as the hooks from above descend down and catch into different points along her shoulders and along her arms and raise her into the air. Small, vibrant, crimson bits of blood slowly pouring down her shoulders across her as he reaches up and his own whirling chains wrap into a circle. And the two of them begin this beautiful array of chain suspension and aerial acrobatics. Kilcannon and Rakra. The two of you arrive at the back door, or the stage door into the backstage, and you notice that there is a like a light tapping against the back of the door there, and the person like kind of like at the ready. You can see this tiefling with like very curled together horns, almost ram like in a way. Opens the door to the backstage area, and you can see standing there a few feet inside is and she motions to the two to follow her along. And as she like turns, she walks by and picks up a martini glass off of a like attendant backstage who's got like a tray of drinks that they're delivering to all of. She like plucks the martini glass and heads in her dressing room, leaving the door open. Follow her behind. And as she does, she kind of like sets the martini glass down on like a small side table, and slowly lowers herself, dress and all, into this like almost like incredibly large, like clawfoot bathtub, filled with salt water. Um, as she kind of like eats herself down into it and sighs deep back up her martini, giving a little bit of a cheek to Kilcannon, saying, "Been some time, my darling."
It's pleasant to see you as well. However, again, your theatrics and your obvious intimations of wanting to see me leave a lot to be desired in terms of how you manage sometimes your more clandestine and important meetings. So may I caution a modicum at best of caution in the future.
Darling, we have new guests among us. I like to. Oh,
Trust me, no one's ever thought that you didn't want to put on a show. It's just that there's this term called heavy handed that you might just want to figure out sometime.
what do you think, my dear? Gonna tips a she tips a martini glass over to Rakra, and you can see when she is in the or when she is in like the clawfoot bathtub, you can see almost instinctively she keeps like her legs and feet together, and you can now see where the feet where her feet together, it would almost create the tail of like a mermaid or a siren. Um, she kind of like looks up and tips her martini glass and says, "What do you think, my dear? Do you think I am? How did you put it? Heavy-handed? Look at this. I haven't lifted anything in my life that somebody else couldn't."
It's painfully obvious.
I don't know most of what Kilcannon said, if I'm honest. So I thought it was good.
Thank you, thank you. So she goes, "Admittedly, our conversation," and she looks at you, Rakra, says, "Our conversation will be private. This one can step outside for our conversation. But there is a bit that you are aware of as
Okay, I'm
well."
listening.
Casilda looks over at Kilcannon and says, "So, what does Anshi say of things? How are things back at the treasure and chest?"
So I assume that we're talking quite honestly about in certain sensitive subjects in front of Rockra as well.
What?
"From what I understand, she's been helping you. She's been working together. The others that are outside with you will decide when is the proper time to bring them in fold. But
I would be cautious about including them on anything at this point, but at least with Rockra, I do trust her. So I'm glad that we have permission, I should say, to speak a bit more freely.
she looks a little bit over at Kilcannon and she plucks the very, very sharp point. You realize that these aren't like plastic, these aren't like little plastic olive spears. These are like actual full like metal olive spears. She kind of like picks one up and just kind of like drags it across her teeth and like eats away at the olive, and she says, "Love when we're properly."
Again, I just have to say it's a new look for you to be moderately careful about anything. But with that said, things are not going well. There are signs that people are trying to frame the ferryman for activities that are not exactly in line with what our goals are. And we don't yet know who is part of all of these machinations. But that's needless to say, we are worried and distraught because there's clearly a leak in our system.
You
Yeah.
see, oh, sorry, go ahead, Rakra.
Rock was just kind of like, trying to process and is like, "What? Hey, huh? You? You? What? You're ferryman?" I'm so confused.
Rockra, does it surprise you that much? I mean, think of all of the times that you and I have been out on the evening and you've helped me place some things sometimes in the right places where obviously we just didn't belong.
But I never saw the symbol until the opera house.
Well, that just shows that I was doing my job correctly, so you're welcome.
Okay. So, what does this mean for me?
Casilda kind of looks over for a second and she kind of like flips her feet together, as it were, in your direction. And my dear, it's nothing to worry about. To be fair, a lot of the foretellings that people say are a little stretch of the imagination, but we do what we can. We look after we look after our. Admittedly, I'm a
And
little nervous about Congresswoman and the agent from the Bureau that you have managed to find friends with, but we need their information. So, for now, we'll continue playing.
Okay. Is this what it feels like when parents fight?
my dear, if Casilda was worth actually fighting with, you would know. This is me just chastising the flagrant juvenile actions of someone who's not yet appreciating the value they could bring with a subtlety that might actually be worth noticing in the future.
She looks over at you, Kilken, and she goes, "My darling, I'm bored. I was stationed here on Anshi orders, I guess you could say. I hate this place. These people are terrible. They gawk at me. They ogle me. They don't even understand the true power that I possess. I I'm over it. I'm bored. I want something to happen, and yet we keep spinning our wheels. Others in the ferryman think that those in Quayside are responsible. Quayside thinks we're responsible. Nobody knows who's actually doing any of these things. And honestly, I'm bored.
Well, I do appreciate that it is dreary here, especially with the gaudy opulence that your owner decides to decor this club, I would say. But at the same time, you know that this is your role to play. We have grander plans in action, and you need to play your part perfectly because if you don't, everything could go awry.
Kind of rolls her eyes for a second. She's like, I'm sorry. You're right. Is that what you wanted to hear? Does that make you feel better? You get the
Dear
warm butterflies in your mechanical little stomach. You're right.
Dear, if I needed to hear that I was right all of the time, I would just be hearing it left and right from everyone. I know that I am right. So, you know what? You don't need to tell me that I'm right. All I need you is to do what you were assigned to do. Please remember that.
Kind of takes a little bit of a second. Swallows hard, and you can see her about to like say something. You see there now that you can like fully see in. You see past the like almost jaundiced yellow dress, and you can see like the faint bit of almost like gills on the side of her neck almost flare up for a second. But she swallows hard and she looks over at Rock Run. I'm sorry, my dear. Have a question.
Yes, I do. And Rocker kind of just like wiggles in her dress to kind of like pull it down. Um,
She's like, I'm talking
What?
to important people and I'm dressed in latex. This is
yes,
probably not the correct outfit for
that's
this meeting.
probably not. That's what you get for reading bad fashion columns. Anyway, um, so what is my part?
Rakra, she kind of looks over at you for a second and she gives a little bit of a smirk. And even Kilcannon, you can kind of pick up on this. And you sense this almost empathy between Casilda and Rakra. And she looks over at you, Kilcannon, and says, we'll continue this conversation in a minute. Should probably head back out to the rest of your uh here. And she kind of like reaches out for your hand, Kilcannon.
Mm-hmm.
Like gonna like hold it out. And she reaches down and gives like a very large kiss on the back of your hand, making sure to leave like a perfect lipstick print on the back of it. Says, thank you for spending time with one of my favorite.
Casilda, thank you for your work. And I do admit your song was beautiful. So thank you for the performance. You brought something of value to this hovel.
Casilda smiles for a second and says, my darling, if I needed somebody to tell me that I'm right at what I do, everybody would be telling me.
I
And
do
as
love
she
how spicy you are.
and as she gives a little bit of a wave and you step out the door, Casilda smiles for a second, gives a little bit of like a wistful sigh, and looks over at Rakra and says, "So, my dear, take a seat. I'm so sorry. I'm a terrible host. Please."
I,
Kind of
I'm
like
not.
gestures over to like a chaise lounge that is in her incredibly large dressing room.
Am I gonna break it?
Goes, "Oh, my darling, uh, my body is used to the depths of the ocean, and it doesn't. You're fine."
Okay, okay. So Rocker like scurries awkwardly over and sits, and like just kind of like puts her hands on her legs like this and smiles.
She finishes off her martini and sets the glass down and starts like lightly playing the rim of the martini. And without even like making eye contact with you, says, "So tell me, how long ago has it been since you've been submerged?" Before you can answer, we're gonna smash cut on that little prop to the others out in the club as the audience applauses at the two aerialists who are suspended in the air from the hooks and the large metal disc. Um, the like kind of applause let out, and as the applause takes over, you hear a little bit of a clearing of the throat, and you look over and you see, having descended from the VIP balcony, the owner of the club standing there. You see them with this beautiful crystal highball glass, this incredibly large ice cube in there with this like beautiful malty liquor inside. And they kind of like set it down and onto the bar, and they say, "I'm so sorry. I had to make your acquaintance." And Velray, you can see them like kind of looking at you, and you realize they're like, it has been quite some time since we have had study from a new member of Congress stop by. And as they go to take your hand, they're like, wait, I've seen
That's
Where do
so.
I know you? They kind of like
My
give
hair
a
may have been a different color, but
they give a
what were you saying?
they give a once over for a second. They kind of like you see them like hold up a hand and put a thumb over your hair line, almost like kind of like blocking it out for a second. They're like, "Wait, you've played Derby before, haven't you?"
I have. I'm
Oh,
impressed you recognized me.
what can I say? I never forget a face, especially fabulous.
Flatterer.
What can I say? It gets me Dalish. Dalish is this is my club. You're welcome.
Lovely club. I'm a
Thank you.
fan.
Thank you. What can I say? The denizens of this town need a little bit of distraction. If they're going to worry about worrying little krakens and terrifying little dark, might as well play into their set establishment of sin, fun.
Emphasis on sin. Emphasis on fun.
He kind of gestures broadly over to the two performers who are slowly unhooking the angelic woman who had been lifted in the sky. And you can see, despite the fact that she has had like hooks placed into her and suspended through it, she doesn't appear to be in any pain. And you can watch as she like lovingly embraces the chain devil before her. As the chains like wrap around her, and as they have this moment at the front of the stage, you actually watch as the barbed and hooked chains that constantly wrap around him almost caress over her, and you can see like almost slowly glide down her arms and back without hooking or tearing into her flesh at all. And as they do, the wound along her shoulders and arms slowly glaze over, and you can those of you with higher perception can see the like faintest outline of almost like scar tissue in each of those spots where she ended a regular and we watch as his chains slowly caress down and heal her and heal. And the two of them walk off stage, hand backstage. And you hear the discordant house band pick up once more in between. It says, "Now you have brought some very very wonderful friends here with you. Hello, my darling. Hello, hello. Welcome." And gives a little bit of a gesture towards Ludwig and Kate.
Good evening. It's nice to meet
Uh,
you.
I'm so happy to be here. This is wonderful. And I'm like, Ludwig is like looking
Like
around at everything.
eyes wide, like
Yeah.
Stalish goes, "Something tells me, my dear, that this is your first time."
And I wanted to show him a good time, so
Of course, of
right,
course.
right, yeah.
If you would like, I think that he would get a grand time by checking in with them over there. And you watch as Stalish kind of like holds a little bit of hand over, and you can see this like covered over like this booth over on the side that is like completely covered over by fabric, and you watch as two individuals this couple step out of this kind of like clothed over booth, and just barely past it you can see that there are three like middle-aged to elderly women behind the table, kind of like giving like little bits of like cackles and like waves away, as you this hag tree on the other side of this table, just kind of like giving little bits of waves. And you can see one of them kind of catching an eye of a patron at the bar. And you watch as almost compelled, this patron just slowly walks to that table and the curtains on the booth close back together. Salish goes, I'm certain that the matrons would love to get to know your little friend here a little bit.
I mean, I'm kind of just taking it all in right now. There's a lot. There's a lot going on. Um, Maybe I'll just watch.
Everybody loves a voyeur sometimes. Nothing wrong with that.
You could tell like Ludwig's just like nodding. He has no idea like what that means. He's like, yeah.
Around this time, Kilcannon returns from backstage. Um, and you see a hand kind of like reach out and grab his drink once more. And you all see uh, lipstick print from Cassandra on the back of the hand. And Stalish kind of like looks over at Kilcannon, making note of the lipstick. Is just like, so enjoy your little rendezvous with our star performer.
I really don't know why you're talking to me right now. What do I owe you?
You see a little bit of a glint and says, "Oh, my dear, this is my club, and I appreciate a little bit of a show of force. I'm not going to lie, very attractive, but do know your."
My place is almost anywhere else than here, I can tell you that, because again, there's so much about here that leaves something to be wanted.
You see Stalish kind of like give a little bit of a wave of a hand and says, "If that's what you're looking for, I can have the Hastings take care of things." And you watch as actually a cocktail waitress walking by kind of like stops for a second, like runs up to Stalish and puts a hand on his shoulder and says, "Honestly, I." And he kind of like stops for a second and she kind of like leans in and whispers very, very close. Can I get perception checks from the four of you who are here with Stalish?
I got a 7.
Ludwig is distracted. Ludwig is like, there are so many things. There are people
So
playing
many
cards
lights.
over at that table. I don't know what half of these drinks are. There's a lot. Velray,
Another dirty 20.
you are on fire tonight, and I
This
am
is
here
so much
for
better
it.
than last session. So
This is fair. Kilcannon,
A 14.
a 14. Okay. And Caden.
Also a dirty 20.
Hey.
Ooh.
The
So
dynamic duo out here.
Kilcannon, you kind of catch over on the side. The Hastings seem to be preoccupied with somebody who is um like trying to like make a little bit of a stir in the club. You see like both Just Hastings and Lil Hastings are like out trying to like get ready to like throw them out of the club. Belray and Caden, the two of you, it goes by in such a flash that you're not certain of who exactly it is you saw, but you could swear that as this commotion was going on, you see slipping into the club and almost immediately disappearing amongst the crowd an individual wearing a incredibly dark suit, almost like black gloves that have like a little bit of pearlescence to them, almost like a little bit of a shimmer and a shine, and a half moon mask. And before you can catch a second glance at them, you can't see them again amongst the crowd of the club. And they have disappeared.
Can we tell what direction they were headed in before they disappeared?
They were heading into the club, not exiting.
Just into the club in general, but not in any particular direction.
Yes. You watch them basically come in from the entrance, and amongst like this group of people that were also entering as the Hastings were trying to like push past and throw these people out. And amongst the individuals making their way into the club, they have like disappeared. And you don't see that half mask again. You don't see where they have gone. Don't see what direction, but you see them actively entering the club and then are
Valerie's gonna like look at Ludwig just to see if he noticed again too, but she's gonna see him just.
Ludwig at this point is actively distracted because one of the members of the house band, one of the small little imp-like creatures, is actively playing the violin with just their fangs. Is like plucking away at the strings in like this very rapid pace with the tips of their fangs, and Ludwig is just distracted. Like, I have never known somebody to play instruments before. This is bizarre.
That's
I just
legit.
kind of I look at Velray and just do like a whole like one of those things that you just do nothing but pure communication with just your eyes. Like, you saw that, right? You saw that, right? Because I saw that too. What do you want to do?
Are we still nearby everyone? Like,
Yeah, you see Stalish with like the cocktail waitress and Kilcannon. You see Ludwig kind of like distracted as all heck.
so
Um,
okay. Stalish is a little distracted. That's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Okay, and I saw that mask before. It's that's it.
Yeah, that's the one that you were pointing out yesterday.
Yeah. After I saw them, all of that horrible stuff happened.
Why would they be here right now? I'm gonna go have a word with Kilcannon. He's probably going to hate me, but it's fine. I just walk over to Kilcannon at this moment. Let's go. Hey, not to interrupt the banter that you're having here, but if I can borrow you for a moment, you might want to check on your friend that you went to go see backstage.
So you want me to go check on Casilda again, as if she is incapable of taking care of herself?
Hey, do you remember the person that they said that they spotted on site yesterday before, nonsense happened with the orrery box?
Yes.
Right. Well, another one of them is here, and I feel whether you feel that your friend has the ability to defend themselves or not, you have a vested interest in them being alive and maybe not being made into a horrific being.
Upon this news, I let my shock kind of scrape across my face because I didn't notice this, and I feel a bit taken aback. And so I regain my composure of trying to appear flippantly dismissive of everything, but I'm like, I guess I should go just check on Rockra as well because she's not yet emerged. So make sure she hasn't been offending anyone yet.
Please and thank you.
we're gonna go ahead and cut back to Rakra and Casilda. Last we left off, Casilda asked how long you known that you've been merged.
I'm shocked. Like I think I'm almost fearful. So there is this new look of terror that just smacks me in the face. And I'm trying to get words out. Um so
and you see her stare ahead at you, just still. She actually kind of finally locks eyes with you, and slowly stirring at the rim of the martini. Says, "My dear, I am as we
Rocker
both
kind of,
have been touched by the forces beyond. All right,
yeah, you see, it's weird that I'm having to explain this again. Um,
you don't have to.
I don't know how exactly. Um, but are you familiar with the monastery, the gloaming
Says, I have heard whispers, rumors. I know one other of our kind personally.
eye?
They
Okay.
have studied, probed into mysteries out there, could be responsible for us. And they came upon whisperings of your abbey, but no concrete evidence.
Well, I made it into the Forbidden Library. And that library has tomes ancient, going back hundreds of thousands of years. Um, and one almost felt like it was calling to me. So I opened it and I started reading. And as I started reading, the pages started glowing and I couldn't see anything that wasn't hazy. And I felt like I was being pulled away. And as soon as I felt that, I closed the book
You
and I
felt it
walked out.
wash over you,
Yeah.
cover you, draw you in,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
you chose to come back. That is what being submerged is like.
To come back where?
Yourself.
Oh.
Did
Rockford just like kind of sits back and has this moment of realization.
we feel the call? Some part of us answered, and some part of us once answered that call.
It's been getting worse. I mean, the other day there was this thing and it was, I don't know, like it's a fancy thing and it had things and there were runes and they were spinning and then Bruno wasn't Bruno anymore. And when I was being attacked and my friends were being attacked, then well, I have tentacle arms. It's weird.
Each of us has different ways of exploring this, manifesting this. It is personal to each of us. It's how the tide gets in. It finds the way in which it can connect to something that you know to be you. And then it twists it, corrupts it, it changes it. But it is still you. That's why it is so powerful. That is why it is able to find others like us. It
What happens if I
found,
lose control?
then you are drowned. Become a part of the tide, forever and always. Hold true to you, but not fear this power inside you. You had the strength hold on that strength.
Rockra nods and like just starts like crying and trying to hide it.
I
So she's
hear.
like tearing and is like,
It is all right.
okay. Okay.
Just
Well,
here, help me out of the tub, my dear. Kind of like holds up a hand. Um,
Rockra kind of like goes in and like scoops her up.
oh, quite strong.
Yeah, I've been told that. And then she kind of just looks around. Where do you, where do you want me to put
Oh,
you?
anywhere is fine, my darling.
Okay. And so we walk back over and I put her on the chair that I was sitting on.
She kind of like takes a robe off of the back seat and kind of like wraps it around herself for a second. And it takes barely any time at all. And as she pulls it off, her dress is uh um uh dry. Um, over and takes the cane and slowly stands up. It takes her a second to get used to still having to outside of the and you can see those faint scar marks making their way up either side in on the insides of and she says, we are special. We have been given this power, whether by a terrifying force out of our understanding or not. We have it. It's what kept me alive. It's what let me celebrating what I can in this new form. And you see her gesture to voice box and the augmentation of the edges of
Mhm.
um but I'm here. And it can she kind of like looks at Rockra for a second, and she says, have you ever tried to actively
No. Mm-mm.
takes a look at you for a second and she says, then try. Stop me. And you watch as she takes a second and rears back with the cane and goes to wipe across at you. And you feel that fear and that like almost shock bubble up inside you for a second. Um, and you feel this pulse of energy, and it is not the astral projection that you have emitted before. You watch as you feel it almost pulse out from you. And you watch as this like almost energy pulse emanates off of you, and it just manages to at the very last second knock the cane off course and stop it from hitting you.
Holy shit! That what the fuck? I did
Yes,
that.
it is not particularly useful in many circumstances, and it is quite dangerous. You are literally letting the little bit of the tide outside of you out. Just as the tide comes in, the tide goes out, and you are letting that force erupt from you for a second. Be wary of using it against those that would be under less than ideal circumstances. It can, in fact, lead corruption, spreading of the tide, but it can keep you safe. The tide
Does,
wants you just as much as you tide.
does that mean I'm gonna give it to my friends if I cough on them?
She kind of giggles a little bit, and she hears a knock at the door 3 times. I'm really, really sorry, Casilda. Your next number is up. And she looks over and she goes, Of course, absolutely, right there." Looks over at you. She goes, "My dear, it is not that contagious, but it is dangerous. Be wary."
Rocker nods and stands up and once again like skirts the dress down.
She kind of giggles a bit, and she goes, "Flaunt it, my dear. You've got it. You brought it. Give him a little bit of a
Okay. I think I will.
As you head out of the dressing room and down the hallway to the stage door entrance, you see Kilcannon arriving very quickly. As you kind of like stumble out of the backstage hallway and almost into.
Whoa! Whoa! Okay, I almost stepped on you. Sorry. I was trying this new strut. I was told to flaunt it.
I, eh, I'm sure you were doing a great job of flaunting it. W- I we have something to be worried about. There might be someone here that may be causing some challenges for us here soon. Caden let me know that something that happened to Bruno may also be happening here.
Uh and then Rockford just kind of like starts stomping and like frantically looking for things. So I'm at that point I'm trying to see if I find any runes or like the Ori or anything.
Go ahead and I'll say all 5 of you, now that you've kind of been a little bit alerted and like on the lookout. All 5 of you, go ahead and give me investigation or perception checks. So perception checks are like, I'm gonna look around the bar. Investigation is like, I'm gonna like make my way through here, like grab at people, look at people, like try to figure out what's happening.
Oh, I got a dirty 20.
I got a
Yes.
16.
19.
I rolled a 12.
Same. Oh my god, we gotta stop 20 tonight.
Yes.
So as you all are looking through the bar, you don't find any Ori devices of any kind. Um, and right as you all are kind of like going through your search, you notice that the house lights start to dim one. And you hear that telltale clicking of the cane start to make its way downstage. And as the lights come up on the stage, it gives like just enough light. And you can just manage to make out the 3 of you that rolled really like the what was it? 2 of you rolled like a dirty 20 and one of you got like a 19. Is that right?
Hmm.
So those 3 of you, you managed to just make out at that moment the individual in the half moon mask at the exit of the club once more. You notice them kind of like looking up and giving almost this like smirk in the direction of Casilla. And you see the Hastings at this point have like basically like had to bind the hands of the people that they've been trying to throw out behind them and have them like at chairs at the ready getting ready to throw them out. And you see them looking like really, really like distraught, downtrodden, like a little like overly drunk. They probably hit that level of like emotional drunk where they had moments in the they were crying in the clear. Um but the three of you catch the half moon masked individual at the entrance, getting ready to leave the club. And right as you go to like try to like stop them, Stalish is like right near there, just like stop, stop, enjoy the performance, enjoy the performance. And you watch as Casilda starts her song. Y'all still trying to like now let like calmly like move through the crowd without drawing a lot of attention, trying to get towards the entrance of the club. And you watch as Casilda reaches like this beautiful height of her song, just singing out to uh, the crowd. And you watch as that beautiful, high pitched vibrato slowly turns and Rakra, you begin hearing this loud ringing in your ear. It
Ah.
doesn't seem to take hold of the others, and all of a sudden you watch as Casilda like grips onto her cane and the microphone and holds a hand up to one ear as well, and that song slowly turns, and all of a sudden you hear emanating from deep within Casilda as it echoes out through the audience, and she clambers to the ground and falls and like holds her hands to her ears almost like she is trying, and Rockra, it's affecting you. You hear this like high pitched like screech coming from deep within, and you Caden, uh Ludwig, and Kilcannon. I'll say actually Caden, Ludwig, and Velray. Kilcannon, you're probably like there right with Rakra and like looking between Rakra and Casilda. But Caden, Ludwig, and Velray, the three of you look over and you watch as the two individuals that had been about to be kicked out of the club start crying like tears of inky black, like just this black ichor pouring down their face, slowly overtaking their eyes as their heads throw back and start emanating that same sound that Casilda is making. And eventually, Rakra, your jaw opens and you start making that same sound as well. And the whole club erupts in screams of terror. You see people pushing past quickly, trying to uh like flee the club. You watch
Oh,
as the two suspension aerialists run out and try to like put hands on either side of Casilda. And you watch as Rakra, you just barely manage to lift your head enough, and you watch that similar expulsion of energy that did earlier erupt from Casilda and push back the angel and the devil aerialist away from Casilda. And quickly you see Stalish like rise into the air and begin quickly ushering people out of the club as fast as possible as the five of you are left there as Rakra, your ears continue ringing. Casilda's does as well, but you only see the black ichor begin pouring from the eyes of the two individuals being escorted out. And that, everybody, is where we are going to end tonight's session of the Eldritch Tide, as some terrifying uh, moment has overtaken both Casilda and Rakra, the confirmed submerged members of this little ragtag group of investigators. and some type of effect has happened on these other two distraught individuals.
Well,
All right.
We must protect Rakra.
I'm so ready.
Everybody,
Rockra, save the
thank
world.
you all so much for all of your support and hype throughout tonight's episode. While we did not hit our full nightmare gauge, we will keep this running, and next week we will keep it going so that you can potentially get an even more horrifying and nightmarish moment happening in next week's episode as we check back in here at the Descent to find out exactly what happened and who these masked individuals are that seem to be plaguing our heroes, and particularly targeting individuals that supposedly seem to be submerged, as we have learned of Rakra. Thank you all so much for tonight. This has been absolutely outstanding. Um, uh, and we will go ahead and head on through it, and we will have our wonderful cast members tell you a little bit about themselves and where you can find them whenever they are not here telling very spoopy stories and sometimes wholesome as we roll some dice together. We will start things off as we started off tonight. The wonderful Zeffy, tell us a little bit about yourself and where we can find you.
It me, Zeffy, and I go by that with 2 eyes. Everywhere. Everywhere. But you'll mostly find me on Twitter and Twitch. Tomorrow I will be having a birthday stream because I'll be level 30.
Happy birthday! Happy
Yeah.
birthday!
happy
Thanks.
birthday.
And I'll probably just be playing like a bunch of different games. Sometimes with friends, sometimes by myself. But yeah. I played Valray. And I finally shared that she's an Eldritch elf. So I'm happy about that.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, next.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And y'all better make your way on over there and show some absolutely fantastic birthday love to the fantastic Zeffy as they celebrate tomorrow on stream. We are so incredibly excited that we could help lead them forward into their birthday this. Next up, we have the fantastic Wreck-It Raven.
Hi, I'm Raven, also known or formerly known as earlier as Wreck-It Raven, because that's where my brain's at. Y'all can find me anywhere Wreck-It Raven except on TikTok, which is Wreck-It.Raven. Not a long story, just an embarrassing one. I will say that until I am blue in the face, and that's gonna take me a while because I got melanin, baby. Anyway, I play a lot of different games. But co-op horror is always home. I play Rakra, the very kind, not super street smart half orc monk who is submerged. And that's it.
Reveals.
The reveals in the character lore this evening, y'all
Yeah.
were about it. Every
Yeah.
single person was like, "Oh no, we're having moments. We're
Mhm.
having
Mhm.
moments," and I was here for it. Next up, we have everybody's favorite little golden retriever firefighter boy, the fantastic Fenris playing Ludwig de Alba.
Hello, hi, I'm Fenris. Yeah, I stream a variety of different games. Right now, like I said, Elden Ring is prime currently for me right now. But I stream on the weekends, Friday through Monday, 3 p.m. It's always a good time. It's always shenanigans. And I'm excited to see what happens next week because I think Ludwig might have a few tricks up his sleeve.
Interesting. Uh, Next in line, we have, I called them the nefarious kill cannon earlier, but apparently this person is just like a big old marshmallow center. Just the softest little sweetie boy ever. We have the fantastic
Don't
kill cannon playing
speak
kill cannon.
Such lies. Lies. I'm
Lies of
evil
Adele.
to the core. No. Hey everyone, my name is Kill Cannon. I play a lot of Dead by Daylight on my channel. Typically killer, but also a little bit survivor as well. If you ever want like a really supportive community where we just get together, have a great time, you have any questions or ever wanted to see anything about DBD, it's always the place to be and hang out. So You'll find a whole bunch of people that I think that you'll absolutely fall in love with. So come check us out. Usually Thursday through Sundays. But yeah, again, thank you for letting me be here and letting me have this alter ego of absolute evil nefariousness where I try to basically disparage everyone all the time because I have a giant chip on my shoulder.
Yes,
I would like to say, you say you're trying it out, but you're very good at it.
Yeah.
Like,
Kill plays evil kill very well. Welcome
Yeah.
on in, Raiders, from the absolutely fantastic Rio Relentless. Welcome on in, everybody. I am Wesselhausen. This is our weekly Dungeons and Dragons stream, and the absolutely fantastic Rio is a fellow team lead for the absolutely fantastic Team
Oh.
Spark. That counts the wonderful Sinziak and our wonderful founder and fellow team lead, Phil Cannon, amongst its members. A huge shout out to everybody from over on Rio's channel. Welcome on in, everybody. Every Monday night, we a horror and mystery themed Dungeons and Dragons game here on the channel. We just finished up our second episode where at a seedy nightclub, things went a little bit awry as at the end of the evening during a performance, the nightclub singer and our very own Rakra began letting out a horrifying discordant tone from deep within them that began affecting other members of the patrons in the audience. And you will have to come join us next week on Monday evening for the conclusion of exactly what's going to happen there. Thank you for coming on in, Raiders, and joining. Rounding out our absolutely fantastic party, we have, as I just mentioned, the wonderful, the fantastic Sinziak.
Hi, it's me. You can find me when I'm not here, streaming on Tuesdays, and currently playing Hollow Knight and trying to finish up that adventure and playing other RPGs and story-based games because we love stories around here. And you can also find me on the Major Lady channel on Thursday, basically ranting at the tech and gaming industry for several entertaining hours. And yeah, that's me. Aside from that, I also am playing Kaden, our office worker who decided to just hang out with the people for one evening and somehow has managed to be in the middle of all of this mess. Who could have possibly known that this would have happened?
What spoopy terrible things happening as soon as a group of individuals in a D&D game decide to go out and have just a casual evening out at the club? What do you
Um,
mean?
I mean, well, that, and I'm also kind of concerned about these newspaper clippings before dinner.
Listen, it's fine. She's just
Uh,
had your partner's just had like she had a week. It's okay. It's fine. It's
I'm
totally
sure it is.
fine.
I'm sure it's fine. It's nothing that we can't talk about after they have like a couple of days of rest.
Absolutely. 100%. Disregard the fact that the vibe check sent off all kinds of red flags. It's okay.
No, we
Uh,
ignore those. It's fine.
and everybody from Rio's channel or everybody who tuned in tonight for the very first time, I am Wesselhausen. I am a queer and non-binary content creator, storyteller, and dungeon master here on Twitch. I love telling inclusive stories when it comes to RPGs, and I believe that there is a role playing game out there for absolutely everybody. Whether you are a fan of horror, Tolkien fantasy, mystery stories, slice of life anime stories, I have an RPG for that too. I have an RPG out there for absolutely everybody, and I believe in the true power of queer people and marginalized people getting to be heroes of our own story. So if that is ever something that you are interested in getting to check out, please come find us, come hang out with us, spend some time here, and we will absolutely find a game and a story that fits you best. Uh, Thank you all so much. We are going to continue this nightmare gauge next Monday. So come and hang out with us, spread the word, and as soon as that $250 is hit, a absolutely epic moment of terror and horror will ensue. So come back by and join us for that, and we will see exactly what's going to continue going down here in the Descent. Thank you all so much. One more time, please, please, please head around and give all of the fantastic love to all of our amazing cast members here. We're going to go ahead and head on over to our break screen while we get ready to raid somebody. But please, please, please help share the love, help spread the love of the community. And if you are ever looking for a way that you can support these fantastic folks and this wonderful stream without monetary donations like that and tipping, you can always come back and make clips from the VOD so that our wonderful players will have absolutely fantastic moments to add into their RPG skills and to also spread the love of this fantastic campaign with the community. Thank you all so much for everything. We hope you all have a fantastic week, and we will see you all next Monday. Bye, everybody.
Bye.